Production. Art for a Cause was created to support independent artists and to connect them with a cause. And this year we chose Hakol Me'alev. Hakol Me'alev is an organization all from the heart that was founded by Meir Bloch, and he helps children in hospitals that need help.
צדיק, הכל מהלב, פשוטו כמשמעו.
He helped a 13-year-old boy who was diagnosed with corona to have a bar mitzvah celebration. And it was incredible. He brought a DJ system and he brought, 10 people, and he gave this boy a bar mitzvah like he thought he would never have. And he goes in, he has over 100 volunteers. I've known Meir a long time, and he's just an amazing man. Good friend, and he's helped some of my friends, unfortunately, with their children. And he goes all over the world. He was actually in Miami for quite some time helping people, and he goes all over. So our in-studio visit today is with my friend Peter Halmagyi. Peter is a photographer. We met I looked it up actually in the early 1990s when I started framing for photographers, and Peter was in Los Angeles. And we have mutual friends from the Israeli consulate, and we have mutual friends from the photography world. I had partnered at a time with an album company, Leather Craftsman, and so Bobby Schneider, of course, and the Schneider family, and it's great. So I'm going to share the screen for a second and allow Peter. First of all, Peter, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for the invitation.
And I'm going to share a little bit of the auction that we've set up for the work. Peter's been generous to share with us 10 pieces. He's traveled to so many countries representing Israel, Jewish causes, non-Jewish causes, and it's just unbelievable. So it gives you a sense of the type of pieces that Peter has worked with, and then we'll show a little later some of his Instagram page. Here's his actual website, and what's amazing, you click on places that, and here's some of the places that he's been all over the world: India, Bhutan, Antarctica, Rwanda, Zimbabwe, and it goes on, and it's just unbelievable.
Hi, good morning, everybody. So let me introduce myself. I am Hungarian. I was born in Budapest, and I moved to Los Angeles 32 years ago. I lived there almost 25 years. I made Aliyah to Israel. I was working for the Israeli government, for Shimon Peres, the Bet Hanassi, and I was covering President Peres' private life, not a protocol life, the family life. And I'm really, I think, only me, I have this archive about Shimon Peres. So really let me take pictures in the family holidays and everything covered 20 years. I traveled with him to Brazil, to Budapest, to all of the world. Anyway, long story short, I lived in Brazil also 2 years, and I moved to Miami 6 years ago, actually, 5 years ago when Shimon Peres died, and I moved to Miami. So I'm based in Miami right now. I'm a freelancer photographer. I covered 148 countries all over the world, all the culture and political events. It's only Israel. Show me one country in the world, the parents sending the kids to the army to save the country. It's show me one country, doesn't exist in the planet, only Israel. Wake up in the morning with Israel, sleeping at the night, always checking the news 24 hours, talking with my friend. I want to hear every single news from Israel. Shimon Peres gave me the biggest compliment in my life. He signed in the book, when was many pictures was in his book, the biography. The two most Zionist Hungarian is Theodor Herzl and Peter Halmagyi.
Wow.
That's
Kol
That's
hakavod.
amazing sense of humor, intelligence. So it was one of the biggest compliments in my life.
That's tremendous. Wow. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. So powerful. So let's take this current. Here we are in Israel, for example. We just finished almost 2 months of quarantine, being isolated. Everyone's in their homes. And what's interesting is when I talk to artists, creative people, visual artists, painters, or even, their creative process comes from closing in, being very focused, being very mono. And I'd like to understand from you, because as a photographer, you have to be out there. You're going to places, you're going to events, you're with people, you're involved with people tremendously. How does it impact? Where do you go when you're locked down? And how do you express yourself so that we can all understand a little bit of what goes on inside the mind of Peter Halmagyi?
Let me tell you, it's a very difficult time. I mean, I'm a so energetic guy. This is my life with people, the social life, going, traveling. So the social distance, and this is hit my work, because this is my life, covering events, people. Camera is my baby. It's last 42 years. I shot 3-4 million pictures in my archive, and it's really, really sad. And I hope we're recovering very soon, but nobody knows. This is the problem.
So I noticed that on your Instagram feed and on your Facebook feed about a month ago, you started posting a picture a day. What inspired you to do that? Because I see some of the comments and you're giving people inspiration. It's amazing.
Amazing question, Rafi. Around 3-4 days, I was in quarantine in Miami, and I was thinking, how can I make people happy with my picture? And look at, I have to put every single day. You hear me? Because I lost you. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna show your.
Yeah, the images. Every single day around 11 o'clock, it Israel time around 5-6 p.m. Europe also the same time. East Coast, it's around 8 a.m., 9 a.m. So I want to share my life with the people on Instagram and Facebook. And it's really, really amazing. After 10-12 days, I get the amazing response. I don't know the people, but responding, Peter, please don't stop it. I just woke up in the morning, and the first thing I click on it, Facebook and Instagram, and your picture make me happy. It's the biggest compliment for a photographer.
Just
I make
tremendous.
people happy with my work. It's such a positive energy. And I don't know how we'll be continue this way, but we are in quarantine. I think it's 39 days or 38. I'm not sure about this.
Tell us about, people have commented on this photograph of the dogs in Uruguay. Tell us a little bit about this place and what it is, what it represents to you.
It's an amazing place. I don't know, you remember around 35 years ago, one of the football team airplane crashed in the Andes. And
Sure.
it was a big movie about survival.
Yeah.
People after 30 days was in the Andes, middle of nowhere, they start to eat each other. Because that was only survive, because people died, maybe 5 or 6 people survived. So one of the survival, this football team, this is his house in Punta del Este, Uruguay.
Wow.
And it's a very, very interesting image with the contrast with the dogs and the black and white. And just love this picture. It was interesting.
Just tremendous. It's a piece of art. It's a true piece of art.
This is one of the best trips in my life, definitely. Antarctica.
Yeah.
And
you
this one
went to Rwanda? Is that where the
Rwanda, it was a big assignment. One of the agencies sent me. I was one of the first photographer. I stayed in the jungle. I slept there and covering the mountain gorilla's life. It's a very interesting thing. Only one place in the world lives this gorilla because it's 3 different type of gorillas. On highland, lowland, and the mountain gorillas. This is the mountain gorillas, the silverback, the biggest one. And they live only one place in Rwanda, the Volcano National Park. Only 700 gorillas live there. So I was so upset there because people killing this beautiful animal for $20, $30, $100. So I told the guy, listen, I want to meet with the poacher. I want to talk to him. I want to educate him. How this kill this innocent, beautiful animal? So the guy said, no, Peter, it's impossible, impossible. The guy is hiding because it's illegal. Listen, I give him the money. Let's meet for 10 minutes. I need a translator. So middle of the jungle, the guy was scared because what he does, it's illegal completely. So I tried to educate him. Listen, why you kill this animal? You know how many live in the world? Only 700. You kill one gorilla, the family falling apart because they like humans. It's unbelievable how they operating this beautiful animal. Anyway, long story short, just get emotion when I talk about, I told the guy, listen, talk to your friend, these crazy poachers, and tell them how much money they need a month. They stopped to kill the gorillas. Long story short, they connected with the guy next day. They gave the amount of money. I called my friend in Los Angeles, very wealthy guy, and he loves animals. And let me tell you, it was 2005. Since he's sending them the money every month, and not me, the guy, and 0 gorilla killed.
Wow, what a great story. So powerful. I think this picture here of the monk in Bhutan is is one of the most, like, you were invited to Bhutan, which is it's very difficult.
Very isolated country, very, very hard to get there because they limited the visa every year. So I was part of one of the travel agent group because you cannot go individually. Maybe today, yes, but it was long time ago. Only, I think, was 600 visa issued every year to Bhutan. Right. And it's isolated top of the mountains in the Himalaya. Mm-hmm. And it's a very pure, beautiful people. They connected only with the nature. Only one country in the world, the constitution said, is the gross national happiness, not GDP. They said gross national happiness.
I love it.
So this is the story about it. It's a small country, 800,000 people, really, really isolated. They're happy, they don't have television, nothing. There's 0 connection with the world. But if somebody destroy 1 leaves on the tree, going to the jail.
Wow.
They can't touch the nature.
Wow.
They really, really try to isolate the country and keep safe.
Just tremendous. And I want to remind everybody that 10 of Peter's images are available for auction. We're having a silent auction. They come all ready to hang. They'll be framed, and some of them have spiritual significance, travel, and his life experience. And if you see something on his Instagram that interests you, send him a private message, because it's a time of change right now, and we need to help independent artists. That's what Art for the Cause is about. And what we're doing is connecting the artists through nonprofit causes to communities. And I want the world to support arts, support the artists. You know, one of the things that came to my mind as we're talking here is the opportunity for Peter to tell his stories. Your stories are so powerful. Every image is is a chapter in a book. You know, there's so much depth because it's not just about that moment, it's about the journey getting there. It's the people that you meet, the engagement, the story of the gorilla, and, you know, how you got this friend in Los Angeles to, you know, support. It's far more than just this visual impact, which is so powerful, and the way it comes across. So I think these times of quarantine and isolation, I heard a great quote from a guy named Shlomo Katz, who plays the guitar, and he said, if we don't take the time now to acknowledge that when we come out of isolation, when we come out of quarantine, we need to make some changes. Something small has to change. Doesn't have to be huge, but if we come out the same way we went in, we'd miss the whole point. And we have a tremendous opportunity here through the arts. We've connected with Hakol Mehalev, which is doing tremendous work. And, you know, I really want to. Can you, Peter, maybe you could tell us a little bit about your friendship and connection with the chief rabbi?
One of the most respectful gentlemen in my life is Chief Rabbi Lau. I was the luckiest photographer 1993, July 4. It was the 18th anniversary of raid of Entebbe, Uganda. And Rabbi Lau was a keynote speaker in Budapest, opening the big renovated shul, the Doheny Shul. Is the second biggest synagogue in the world after the Emmanuel in New York. So anyway, after the event, I asked him, listen, Rabbi Lau, can we talk a little bit? And sure, and we spoke 10 minutes in the hotel forum lobby in Budapest. Anyway, long story short, it was almost 26 years ago, and I'm so close to him. Almost every week, 2 weeks, I'm calling him. I'm spent Shabbat at his house, I don't know how many times, 50 times in Sharet Street in Tel Aviv. We traveled together all over the world, to Auschwitz, to Brazil, to Uruguay, to Budapest. And he's an amazing human. It's one of the most intelligent, beautiful person. And his speeches are unbelievable. Never used papers, everything spontaneously.
Wow.
And 5 languages. It's one of the most beautiful human in the world. This is Rabbi Lau.
He told I heard him tell his story. It was, I think, on Yom HaShoah, of him being a survivor as a child and him coming to Israel. Such a powerful message. So I want to ask you, Peter, there are a lot of young photographers today, and the photography world has changed 180 degrees during your lifetime, from film to digital to now. You know, everyone thinks they can grab a camera, and there are some things that to be called a photographer, you need to achieve. So if you could inspire some young, up-and-coming photographer today, what would you have them focus on, or what would you give them to think about as they're moving to becoming a photographer?
Let me tell you, it's a totally different thing when was the analog and the digital photography. I was really, really lucky. I started with film and slide, shkufiyot, taking pictures, and it's totally different. Thinking about, you have one roll of film, 36 exposure. Have to thinking you're shooting 36 exposure, because that time was very expensive, not just shooting. Have to buy the film, have to develop, have to go to the darkroom. Today, put in the little chip, 5,000 pictures. So you're thinking totally different way. For me, I'm really honest to you, I'm sorry about the new generation. They didn't experience the analog photography, because that was the photography. It was not cropping, no Photoshop, nothing. When I was studying in Budapest, one of the most famous photography school, and always my teacher said, Peter, don't show me in the print, show me your negative, the full frame. this is the image. You cannot lie, you cannot do anything manipulating in the negative. So came around 15, 20 years ago, the digital. Really honestly, it was very hard for me. It was not easy. Technology has to change, and there's computer and this.
I explain sometimes to photographers today that when I entered the industry in the late 1980s, it was explained to me by the late photographer Howard Case from Los Angeles. He was a dear friend, and he said every time he presses the button, it cost him $1.
Exactly. That's what I want to say. One click was $1 30 years ago, 40 years ago.
Right. So that imagine today where they go take 5,000 pictures at an event, that's $5,000. You know,
that's amazing, because you try everything from your heart to take a best photo.
Peter, I can't thank you enough. I want to take a minute and just tell everybody that it's really important that this message of supporting the arts through Art for the Cause, and especially Hakol Me'alev, the work that they're doing in the hospitals right now is just so needed and so important, not just for children, but they're doing just tremendous work. I'm going to put a link to their site. I'm also going to put a link to the art auction that's going on. The art auction is going to end on Sunday, and I want to wish everybody a meaningful Yom HaZikaron that we should really remember, and we should come through the other side to Yom HaAtzmaut with the passion, just like we're going to come out of quarantine and lockdown with more energy and more focus and more opportunities. Thank you so much, Peter. Thank you, everybody.
Happy birthday to Israel and happy Yom HaAtzmaut.